Okay, am I audible now? Can somebody please let me know? Are you able to hear me now? Hi, good evening. So, hi, Ashutosh. Hi, Robin Hood. Okay, great. Thank you, Kavya. Hi, Mukta. Yes. So, I think there's some issue with my microphone. I just need you to help me. Maybe I'll quickly. Am I clear? Then I'm not going to use the microphone if I'm clearly audible. Else, maybe I can use it because there's some commotion here, some noise. Okay, so am I still audible? Is it fine? Okay, great. So I think then there was some gadbad that I had done. Lovely. Great. So, my apologies once again for those of you who had joined in early and earlier, and all that mess up that happened. I didn't even know. Mukta, you did mention. Thank you so much for that. Great. So, very good evening to all of you. So, we were talking about how is your relationship with yourself, and this is part of our Sunday evening, the live session that we do, which is about work on workplace relationships with Aastha. So everything that happens at your workplace, we try and pick up some aspect of it, and then we delve a little deeper. And today, what I want to talk about is your relationship with yourself. So a lot of people ask, why do I even need to talk about that? Firstly, my relationship with myself. Then, why do I need to talk about it? And what is the impact? What is the whole relevance and connection between this and what I'm experiencing at workplace? So I want to just delve a little deeper into that, and coming from or taking it from a place of the relationships outside, because that's what we understand, and that's where that's the zone we live in. Any relationship outside, whether it's with your partner, your spouse, your parents, your children, friends, relatives, or people at your workplace, anybody, any stakeholder, there are certain ingredients that you kind of use, work on, and therefore you're able to have a healthy relationship or a not so healthy relationship. But you evaluate your relationship on those parameters. Now that could be how much of respect you're bringing in. Sorry. So there's respect, there is love, there is trust. Am I trusting the other person or not? Am I being honest or not? Am I keeping my word or not? I make promises and then do I keep it or not, right? Am I, standing in responsibility? Am I being responsible for the relationship or not? How, and all of these impact then how I speak, how I behave. And I am a lot of times quite mindful of what I'm doing in those relationships. How is the other person going to feel? If this is how I speak, what is going to be the impact? Right? If this is how I behave, what's going to be the impact? Yeah. This is what I do, and therefore the other person is feeling upset, he's not liking it. When there is a gap, when something is not working out, there is a miscommunication, we take efforts, we make efforts to bridge that gap. Okay, let's talk it out. We think, we analyze. So there is so much that we do around every relationship that's there in our lives. A relationship which matters, which is consequential, right? Now if I say just bring this whole thing to your relationship with yourself. So I for conversation communication purpose, I would use the terms A and B. So whatever name you want to give, one is you and the other is yourself. Now, some people call it the inner me, the real me, the inner child within me, whoever that the inside of you is. right? Let's say call it B, and then there is A you, which is the outer you, which is doing whatever it is doing, right? So I just want you to treat this just like any other relationship outside, the A and B. Now, exactly what you're doing outside, what you are concerned about, what you're mindful about outside, you bring it to this relationship and reflect on each of those parameters. Are you giving that love to yourself? A to B? Are you being honest with yourself? Are you keeping all those promises that you make? I'm going to take care of my health. I'm going to be mindful of my sleeping hours. I'm going to have my boundaries in place and also have, respect them. This works, this doesn't work. I'm going to implement it very, very strictly. I'm going to be conscious about, what is really serving me, what is not serving me. What is it that I am speaking to myself? Am I liking it or not liking it? We don't even care who's listening. मैं ही तो हूं, doesn't matter. Just push it aside. And we end up taking ourselves for granted a lot of times. If you reflect and you're able to resonate with this, let me know. Type in a yes in the chat box if you really think there are times when you do this. तो जब भी आप अपने आप के साथ में इन सब पैरामीटर्स पर खरे नहीं उतरते हो, या अगर मैं बोलूं कॉम्प्रोमाइज करते हो या माइंडफुल नहीं होते हो, यू जस्ट लेट इट बी, then it is going to have an impact on your relationship with yourself. A and B, relationship with yourself. And you carry that turmoil, उसकी वजह से जो अंदर मेस है, जो गैप आ जाता है, where you feel disconnected with yourself. कई बार ऐसा लगता है ना कि मैं एक्चुअली कौन हूं, मैं एक्चुअली क्या चाहती हूं, मुझे पता ही नहीं है. That's because you end up taking yourself for granted so much. You end up telling yourself, be this, do this, you're supposed to be like this, you must do like this, so much that you completely miss out or get so distant from your real identity. We forget who we really are, what we desire, what is core to our being, our existence, what makes us thrive. We don't even think about it. And at that point, when you stop doing that, you start to lose that touch with yourself. You forgive people outside n number of times, umpteen number of times. If it's your partner, your husband, wife, your child, parents, you're out there. Tell me what you want and I'm there. But what happens when it comes to ourselves? There's no forgiveness. Rather, there is a heavy penalty. There is a lot of beating. There is a lot of thrashing. Why did I do this? Am I good enough? Am I not? I'm not doing this well. Yeah, somebody, I mean, this morning, I was in a session and people are struggling with everything. Leaders say that, I'm not able to have authentic relationships. I don't speak up because I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of insecurities. Yeah. And I'm not able to be myself, be given my 100%. I feel I'm just putting up a facade. I'm pretending to be somebody who I am not. Now, all of this is happening. That's one part of it. But in this process, this is not acceptable. This is something that they cannot approve of. This is something that they are beating themselves for. This is causing me so much of pain because we cannot accept all of this. We want ourselves to be a certain way, and yet we cannot accept that way. It's causing me pain because that's not who you are. So, the moment we start to lose that connect with ourselves, the moment we get into that mode of, let me put up this facade, let me be somebody, so that in order to, so that as a result, this is what I get. When we get in that mode, then that leads to a turmoil within. When we don't respect our own boundaries, when we don't speak to ourselves with that respect, when we don't take the responsibility of this A and B relationship, right? When we don't keep our word to ourselves, then all that mess we carry, where we carry to the workplace. And what happens as a result? Everything outside we view through that same lens. All that turmoil inside and outside, what do you want? Peace. You want a meaningful connection. You want a deep connect with your boss, with your colleague, with your teammate, with any stakeholder, with the client. You want to be your best self. And then when you're not able to do that, You come back, A comes back and tells B, hey, you again did the same thing. You absolutely don't deserve. You're not meant to be here. The boss is right. The colleague is right. You end up saying that to yourself. How often does it happen? And then we wonder, what should I do so that I can turn around my relationship with people outside? And your whole experience at workplace is one that is disempowering, is one that doesn't make it a celebration, rather it becomes a fearful thing. And you are kind of struggling in that whole mess, and you want, okay, somebody please pull me out of it, somebody give me a skill set so that I can apply it, I can do that. How do I talk? How do I behave? What should I say? How should I say? What language? All that skill set, teach me so that I implement it and I'm out and I have amazing relationships. I have a great experience. But what is it that we miss out? We miss out on the turmoil within, the connection, the relation that A is having with B, how A takes B for granted, how A comfortably pushes B aside. No, 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 just wait. Let me first attend to this person outside. So what? Your boundary is being, not taken care of. It's being violated. No problem. Sit down. That's more important. Pleasing the other person is more important. Putting up a facade there is important. He needs to view me in a certain light. That image needs to be maintained. Okay, you feel disrespected? No problem. Sit. That's your problem. But this is important because this is linked directly to my appraisal, to my promotion, to my whole career growth. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Mukta. That's what you bring to the workplace, and that's what you then put across. So every person, whatever experience they are having of you, is coming from that same place of turmoil, that inner turmoil. That's what you are giving to others. And where you act as a victim, मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है, मेरे साथ वैसा हो रहा है, मुझे ऐसे ट्रीट किया जा रहा है, मुझे वैसे ट्रीट किया जा रहा है. That's because within you, you've become a victim. One part of you is beating the other part. So there's one part which is victim, and then the other part which is constantly penalizing. And then when you go out there, you have that same filter out there, and that's the treatment you give to others as well. And that's what you get back from others. So, so the crux is for you to be able to have an experience that you desire. Your relationship with yourself is important to be considered, is worth paying attention to, because it has an impact which is far reaching. It's not limited to you, but that's what you manifest outside. तो बाहर जो भी हो रहा है वो वहीं से आ रहा है. अब बाहर जो हो रहा है अगर वो प्लेजेंट नहीं है, इट इज डिसएम्पावरिंग, इट्स क्रिएटिंग फियर, इनसिक्योरिटी फॉर you want to turn it around, then the only way is you turn around what's going on inside, right? Because when this starts to settle, this starts to get okay, when you start to accept this and then work on this, then things outside also are, in sync. तो वो उसी तरह से उसी proportion में change होती हैं, because everything, the common factor everywhere is your mental state, your state of being, your way of being, all of that, which is coming from what's going on inside. And therefore, talking about relationship with yourself, doing that work on yourself is very, very, very critical. Especially, I'm just talking about the context of your workplace experience. That's the whole point right now. Yeah. So if you want to turn around and have any other experience than that pain, that trauma kind of that you're experiencing at your workplace, if you want a different one, you have to create something different. Something inside you must shift so that you're able to create that. Yep. So the only area where the work is needed, like I think Mukta just mentioned, that the only thing that is needed is self awareness. Once you get aware, then you start by doing the work that is needed, and working on your relationship with yourself, everything else will be taken care of. So, for those of you who are struggling with your workplace relationships, any relationship, smallest pain, biggest pain, complete mess, turmoil, whatever it is that you're dealing with, I can tell you for a fact, look nowhere, do nothing, just do that work on yourself. What does it mean, work? We often use this term work, work, work. It just means to first identify how, by getting aware, by observing, by just getting mindful of, okay, this is what is happening with me. This is what I'm saying to myself. This is how I'm behaving with myself. This is how I'm completely pushing myself aside, abandoning me at times, being harsh on myself. Do I really want to do this? Because when I do this, this is how I feel. So the more you get aware, the more you peel those layers, go deeper and deeper and deeper. You may need help for that, for sure. But the more you do that, the more you discover, the more aware you get. And the more aware you are, you will be able to identify, where exactly am I stuck? What exactly is causing me that pain? And it's different for different people. There are different intensities of those barriers also. Which is the top one right now for me? Yeah. And when you identify that, then you do the work to move beyond it, to create something which serves you first. So the moment अपने आप से फेस टू फेस खड़े होते हो, जितना भी फियर है, इनसिक्योरिटी है, उसे कन्फ्रंट करते हो, वो गंदा है, डर्टी है, आसान नहीं है, पेनफुल है, बट फिर भी कन्फ्रंट करते हो और उसके बियॉन्ड जाते हो, दैट्स वेयर पावर इज. And then you start to come closer, closer, closer. With whom? With yourself. And as you start to, because when you're doing all this work, you're connecting with yourself. Through the process of this self discovery, you start to connect, you start to return to who you are. It's like coming back. So you've not changed, nothing has vanished, it's all there. It's just that kahin pe hum bhool gaye hain usko, the core. So you come back to it, you start connecting with it, and as you do that more and more, it feels like getting back home. It absolutely feels like getting back home, like something is falling in place. And as that happens, you will start to experience a shift outside. And I can bet, I can guarantee, I can promise you will have a different workplace experience, irrespective of the people outside. Because your experience anywhere, any part of the world, any relationship is created by nobody else but only you. Yeah. So I think in that sense, okay, hi Amit, relationship with yourself should be honest, just like, yeah, absolutely. Honesty is very, very important. That's what I said, that you've got to be honest with yourself instead of running away, instead of not facing it. If you only confront it, that's difficult, and that's where not everybody takes on that journey. That's the choice you need to make. So sulking, blaming, crying is very, very easy. Living with that turmoil, painful, but कौन करेगा, कौन एक्शन लेगा, कौन एफर्ट करेगा. So we just pull back, and then we start to doubt, ये वर्क करेगा भी या नहीं करेगा, इससे क्या होता है, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, ये तो ऐसे ही होता है. I hear people say that. So one is convenient option where you live your life like that, right? And the other option is where you say, I want to do that work and I really want to turn around the relationship. So you've got to be honest with yourself. And if you choose to do that work, you'll have your results. And that's where very handful of people are so committed that they want to do that work and they want to explore and discover more about themselves. They want to know themselves better, only so that they can manage themselves better. So the whole game is about managing yourself, managing the thoughts, managing your state of mind as a result, and which then impacts your actions and behaviors. That's the whole game. And that, interestingly, needs work. So the question you need to ask yourself is, am I willing to do that work on my relationship with myself? Am I willing to do the work on my relationship with myself? Because if there is anything which is not in place outside, you've got to turn inwards and look and reflect on reflect at your relationship with yourself. That's it. I don't think, in my experience, there's anything beyond this in terms of, and of course, this is very, very, very deep, so much to really explore, and so much, and it is equally exciting, like I always say. Yes, Mukta, I can't agree more. This is the biggest service you could do to the world. Your own transformation is the biggest service to the world. Very, very well said. Very powerful. So, a lot of times people say, पता नहीं दुनिया कब बदलेगी, कैसे बदलेगी, क्या होगा. I can just say, if I can only focus on myself and focus on my transformation, I've done my bit. Yeah. So do your bit and then inspire others by what you're doing, by impacting them, by serving them, by it all automatically falls into place, and you that's a journey again. But start by doing this work on yourself for your own transformation. That's not only going to change your experience, but it's going to change the experience of every place that you are present in. I mean, people are going to have a blissful experience just because of the transformation that you've caused in yourself. And you're not doing it so that people have a certain experience, but the whole thing is, as a result, you are creating your experiences. What is it that you really want? What do you desire? Take control, take charge, stand in responsibility, be honest, be authentic, keep your word to yourself, bring that respect, that love, that transparency, that the truthfulness, and just go ahead and live. So biggest commitment that you have is to yourself. Number one relationship is you with yourself. Yep. And whatever it takes, that work needs to be done. Great. So it's 10 minutes to 9. Um, I hope this was meaningful for you all. I'm going to see you next Sunday, same time, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So sending you lots of love, and do get on with do get on by doing this work on yourself. And I think the first step would be to identify somebody who you want to do this work with. Look around you, look at people, seek help. But I think bring in that commitment, and then whatever needs to be done for that, just get on with it. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying on. Thank you for joining in. All those of you who are here, Robin Hood, Mukta. Thank you, Mukta. Thank you so much for always being there. And okay, Ankur, Nupur, thank you so much, Ankur. Nupur, Prashasti, thank you so much. Sukh Sampat Raj Mehta, thank you, Uncle. Thank you. So, thank you so much for all of you for joining in. I think this is really, really valuable. It's really worthwhile when you join in, you participate. I'm really grateful. And please continue doing that. Keep coming back, sharing your insights, sharing your experiences. What is it that you've experienced in your life, and what are your thoughts around whatever we are talking about? So do that, and I'm going to see you next Sunday. Thank you so much. Lots of love, lots of happiness. Have a super duper rocking week ahead. Take care. Bye bye.